Hey there, Ospreys. Welcome to another campus update with Inside Swoop. I'm Derek Grossman, here to bring you up to date on what's going on this week. We've got a special guest in today's episode. John Newsom is here to tell us a little bit about the communication program and his current journalism course and his recent experiences with the covering the Players' Championship. Hello, John. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Why, thank you. So you're currently a journalism student, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I know that you're in a class called Inside Jacksonville. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that class and what you do?
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool class. It's the capstone class. It's the capstone video journalism course. It's a lot of fun. We produce a TV show that airs monthly on the CW17. It's a lot of biographical type stories, a lot of kind of really digging into Jacksonville culture, telling the stories of individuals in the community.
Okay, so I've known that you've written some stories and that you've anchored. Can you go into detail about some of these experiences that you've done so far?
Yeah, so it's been pretty cool. I really enjoyed getting to anchor. Reading on camera is a lot of fun, and also it's just kind of cool to be able to go home and like tell your family like, hey guys, I was on TV. But as far as the packages, I think my personal favorite one that I've done is also the worst one that I've done, in that it was emotionally very difficult. Told the story of a little girl who had, her parents had abused her as a child, and she is a paraplegic. But despite that being incredibly sad, they are a very hopeful and inspiring family, and so I really enjoyed telling their story.
So I know that you've also recently gotten the chance to attend the Players and was given like free reign to go get footage and go do a story that was given to you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you had covered during that time?
Yeah, so I covered. So there's a institution at the Players Championship called Darlene's Diner. It's actually a full-blown committee within the TPC. And it's headed up by a woman named Darlene Riggs, and the whole point of it is that they provide, quote-unquote, good food for a low price and a good place to cool off and get out of the weather for the volunteers. It's only for the volunteers. So, that was very cool. She's a very passionate woman who's been doing it for going on 30 years now. Just a lot of history there, and she obviously is very passionate about the community and about what she's doing in the TPC. And then I also covered, it was pretty cool, the UNF School of Education and Human Services every year sends over nearly 50 volunteers from the sports management program over there to go and volunteer basically as part of their curriculum, and they get a lot of hands-on experience. And so I got to interview some of the people who are in charge of the volunteers. I got to interview a couple of the volunteers, and they were super cool people. So I was very happy to do that.
Nice. Now, did any of these volunteers, were they working the merchandising department?
Yeah, they all work in the merch booths and the fan shops, and they might work concession, but I don't know for sure about that one.
Okay, can you go ahead and describe what you did for that merchandising package that you went ahead and did? Or
yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, ultimately, I basically just got pointed in the direction of a story, and as with any other story, you pretty quickly form an outline in your head of what you need to do. So I went in there knowing that I would need to interview a couple of students. I would need to interview somebody in a position of leadership. Did that, and then I got a bunch of B-roll of the stuff they were selling.
Nice. Nice. Now, I do remember you saying that you did meet a bunch of interesting characters while you're there, especially random people just coming up to you because you had a camera. How was that?
Yeah, okay. That was just one guy, actually. Several people, more people than not, this is pretty universal, is if you pull out a camera in public, people kind of duck and cover because they desperately don't want to be on TV. But occasionally you encounter a certain type of individual who does want to be on camera, and it's even better when that individual is drunk. So this person had knocked back 4 or 5 with a buddy and decided to come over. And as I was trying to interview somebody, he kind of like barged in and was like, "Interview me!" And yeah, that was was what it was. And so I basically like just took some pictures of him, turned off the camera, and played lip service to his insanity. So that was a good time, I guess.
Okay, so I know that you weren't the only person at Inside Jacks to get this opportunity. Can you maybe name some of the other story packages that your classmates have done?
Yeah,
like
honestly, I think
other experiences?
if I'm going to be honest here, I think the coolest one was Nathan Dean. He actually wound up getting to do a package on the First Tee, which is an organization that helps youth. The word is grow up with a love of golf and with ethics. I think they try to teach ethics and golf at the same time to children, which is a pretty cool organization. They do a lot of good things for the kids who are in it. And Nathan got to cover their involvement with the TPC, but in the process, he got to get video of Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood having an exhibition match for the kids, and then he got to take video of them teaching the kids some stuff. Super cool. I was very impressed with the fact that he actually got to get video of some professional golfers doing their thing. But yeah, Jessica May was out there, Alfred Naren was out there, all really cool people.
Nice. Now, I know that this was a extremely unique opportunity that was presented to you and a select few other students here at the University of North Florida. How do you feel about this experience, and has it helped you grow within your communication field?
If I'm being honest, I think the thing that I really appreciate most about it was I think it's the closest thing to real-world journalism that I've gotten so far here in my degree program. Because instead of like, for 90% of the degree, you kind of have to find your own stories, work out. You have to be really, like, I think a little bit more in tune with the community than I think even a lot of people here are capable of, being from out of town and stuff like that. So it can be very difficult to find stories. What was really cool about doing the TPC was it was kind of a one-stop shop. We had people kind of pointing us in the right direction, and it was, here's a story, get these interviews, now like let your creativity shine through like B-roll and careful editing. So I really appreciated that. That was really cool. I also really appreciated the fact that it was kind of a one-stop shop where you didn't have to go looking and run all over town for B-roll or for interviews. You could just go and get great interviews from really passionate people. You could film an entire like solid 2.5-minute package there in an hour, and then you'd be done. But like, there's so many stories to tell. You turn around and there's another story.
So you would say this was definitely very beneficial?
Oh, it was incredible.
Okay, so would you say that this is like, it would be like mandatory for future students?
Oh, I think it should be mandatory. Yeah. I'm gonna plug Inside Swoop here and say that I think Inside Swoop should be put way ahead as a mandatory class to take. But yes, I do think that doing TPC should be mandatory. If not, anybody who's either in journalism or production, even if it isn't ever made mandatory, you should want to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's such a cool experience. It condenses the work of being a journalism student or a production student into just this really nice workflow, and it lets you kind of like apply everything that you've learned. And usually by the time that this would be happening, you're like not even aware that you've learned so much until you use it all at once. And it's like that moment when it all clicks and you go, whoa, I can do all of these things all in one place. I can get, like, you figure out, oh, I can write a story, get B-roll, do an interview, get all these shots, and then like you kind of find that mental map coming together really quickly and easily. So it was awesome.
Nice. So it's like a culmination of all these things that we've been learning so far, and finally being able to apply, and it's just being able to finally express it and actually put it forth for.
It really felt like the closest thing I can imagine to what working in like a real, like, journalistic or production setting would be like covering an event that way for an organization. So yeah.
Nice. Well, John, I would like to thank you for coming out once again.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, if you would like to learn more about John or see more of his packages, you can go to unf.tv, which is the Inside Jacksonville website. Well, that's another edition of Inside Swoop. Tune in next time for more campus information. I'm Derek Grossman. Thanks for joining me on Inside Swoop.